Hello, everyone, and welcome to English in Advance. My name is Jennifer, and I'm here to guide you on your language journey. For anyone new to the channel, we post a fresh English lesson every day to help you learn in a way that feels natural and easy. Today, we have a very special and incredibly in depth lesson that will make a huge difference in your daily chats. We are going to explore 30 essential English phrases for everyday use. We won't just learn them. We will dive deep into how they are used, why they are used, and the subtle feelings they create. This extended session is designed to be an immersive listening experience, helping you truly master these expressions and understand the culture behind them. These are not complicated grammar rules from a textbook. Instead, these are the simple, everyday expressions you will hear when talking with friends, making plans, or interacting with colleagues. By the end of this lesson, you will not only understand these phrases, but will feel the confidence to use them yourself. Learning them will sharpen your listening skills and make your speaking flow more smoothly. These phrases are useful in almost any situation you can think of, from the office to your home. I will introduce each phrase, explain what it means in detail, and show you how to use it in a variety of real conversations. We will explore intonation, common mistakes, and the cultural context, making this a complete guide. We will even do some practice together. Before we start, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. This helps our community grow and ensures you never miss a lesson. Now get comfortable and let's get started on our deep dive into everyday English. Let's begin with a wonderfully versatile greeting. How's everything? At its core, this is a warm and open-ended way to ask someone how they are doing in general. It's more personal than a quick hi and a bit broader than how are you. When you ask, how are you, Zrenya, the focus is usually on the person's immediate health or mood. But when you ask, how's everything, you are inviting them to share about their life as a whole, their work, their family, their recent experiences. Culturally, this phrase reflects a desire for connection that goes beyond a simple pleasantry. It suggests you have a moment to listen and that you genuinely care about the other person's world. The intonation you use with how's everything can change its feel. If you say it with a bright, upward inflection on everything, how's everything? Well, it sounds cheerful and energetic. This is perfect for greeting a friend you're happy to see. If you say it with a calmer, more level tone, how's everything? It can sound more concerned and sincere, suitable for asking a friend who you know has been going through a tough time. Let's imagine a scenario. You run into a former colleague, Sarah, at a coffee shop. You smile and say, Sarah, it's been ages. How's everything? Your warm and open tone invites her to share. She might respond, Jennifer. Wow, things are great. I started a new job last month and I absolutely love it. The phrase opened the door for that happy news. A common pitfall for learners is to take the question too literally and feel pressured to give a very long, detailed answer in a situation that doesn't call for it. If a casual acquaintance asks, how's everything? While passing you in the hallway, a short positive response like, everything's great, thanks, you is appropriate. You have to read the social cue. Is this a quick greeting or the start of a real conversation? For practice, I want you to think of one person you will see this week. Imagine saying to them, how's everything? What tone would you use, and what kind of answer do you think you would get? Our second phrase is incredibly useful in a specific context. Shopping. The phrase is, just browsing, thanks. As we discussed, this is the perfect, polite way to respond when a sales assistant asks if you need help and you don't. The word browsing means looking casually without a specific purchase in mind. Culturally, this phrase is part of a polite dance in customer service. The employee is expected to offer help, and this phrase is the socially accepted way for the customer to decline without being dismissive. It acknowledges their offer with thanks, which is a crucial part of the interaction. Let's explore the delivery. This phrase should be said with a small, friendly smile and a relaxed tone. Just browsing, thanks. It should sound light, not annoyed. If you say it with a flat, quick tone, or while avoiding eye contact, it might come across as rude, as if you're saying, leave me alone. The goal is to create a comfortable atmosphere where you feel free to look around and the employee feels respected. A variation you might use is, I'm okay for now, but I'll let you know if I need anything. This is also very polite and perhaps even more reassuring to the employee. Now let's walk through a little story. Imagine you're in a lovely little bookstore. You're picking up different novels, reading the back covers. An employee approaches and asks, finding everything okay? You look up, smile, and say, yes, thank you. Just browsing. The employee smiles back and says, great. Well, my name is Tom if you have any questions at all. Because you were polite, you've created a friendly connection. Later, you actually do have a question. It's now very easy to find Tom and ask for his help. A common mistake is to feel shy and just shake your head or say no, which can feel a bit cold. Using this full phrase is the most natural and friendly way to handle this common situation. Next, let's do a deeper dive into the phrase that shows agreement and enthusiasm. Sounds like a plan. This phrase signifies that you accept a suggestion and are ready to commit to it. Structurally, it's an informal version of, that sounds like a good plan. Dropping that and good makes it sound more conversational and fluid. It's a very collaborative phrase. When you use it, you are essentially telling the other person, I approve of your idea and I am now on the same page as you. It's a verbal handshake that finalizes an informal agreement. The tone here is key. It should be said with a positive and slightly decisive inflection. Sounds like a plan. With a little downward nod can show you're settled and happy with the decision. If said with a questioning upward tone, sounds like a plan, it can actually mean the opposite, expressing doubt or seeking confirmation. So the confident downward tone is standard. Let's imagine a longer dialogue. You and your friends are in a group chat planning a weekend trip. Friend 1. Okay, so we could rent a cabin by the lake. Friend 2. Ooh, I like that. We could go hiking and swimming. You. What about the cost? Is it expensive? Friend 1. I found a place that's pretty affordable if we all chip in. I can send the link. You look at the link and it looks great. You type back, wow, it's perfect. Okay, sounds like a plan. I'm in. Your response solidifies the decision for the whole group. A common pitfall is using this phrase for very formal or legally binding agreements. You would not say, sounds like a plan, after your lawyer explains a contract. In that context, you would need more formal language like, I agree to the terms. Sounds like a plan is for social and informal professional planning. For practice, think of a recent plan you made with someone. It could be for dinner, a meeting, or a holiday. Try to relive that conversation and imagine yourself sealing the deal with a confident, sounds like a plan. Now, what if you are uncertain about something? Let's revisit the very useful phrase, I'll have to check. This expression does more than just state your uncertainty. It makes a promise. It communicates, I don't have the information now, but I value your question enough to find the answer and follow up. This is why it's such a great phrase for building trust and sounding reliable. It shows respect for both the question and the person asking. The opposite would be guessing an answer, which could lead to problems later. Let's consider the tone. This phrase should be delivered in a sincere and thoughtful manner. Hmm, I'll have to check on that for you. A slightly furrowed brow and a thoughtful look can accompany it, showing you are taking the query seriously. A variation that is very common in a professional setting is, let me double check and get back to you. The verb double check adds an extra layer of diligence. It implies you might have an idea, but you want to be 100% certain. Here's a work scenario. Your manager asks, did the client approve the budget for the new campaign? You remember seeing an email, but you can't recall the final decision. You say, I saw an email come in this morning about it, but I haven't read it in detail yet. I'll have to check and confirm the final approval. This is the response of a responsible employee. You are not giving incomplete information. You are committing to providing accurate information. The pitfall here is the follow-up. If you say, I'll have to check, and then you forget to, you can damage your reputation. This phrase is a promise, so it's critical that you actually do check and provide the answer later. Sometimes people apologize for small things, and you need a way to tell them it's not a problem. Let's expand on the kind and reassuring phrase, don't worry about it. This expression is a social balm. It's used to soothe a situation and relieve someone of their guilt or anxiety over a minor mistake. Culturally, it's a way of showing that you are easygoing and that you value the relationship more than the small inconvenience. It says, your apology is accepted and we can now move on. The delivery is crucial. It must be said with a warm and genuine tone. A gentle wave of the hand can also be a great nonverbal cue to accompany it. Oh, please don't worry about it. A sincere smile is also important. If you say it with a flat or sarcastic tone, yeah, don't worry about it, it can actually mean the exact opposite, implying that you are, in fact, very worried or annoyed. So sincerity is everything. Let's imagine you lent your favorite book to a friend. They return it a week later and there's a small coffee stain on one of the pages. They are very apologetic. I am so sorry. I was drinking coffee while reading and a drop fell. I feel terrible. A gracious response would be, it's a book that's meant to be read and lived with. Honestly, don't worry about it. It just shows it was enjoyed. This kind of response not only forgives the mistake, but can even strengthen the friendship. The mistake to avoid is using this phrase for a serious issue. If someone makes a very big, costly mistake, saying, don't worry about it, might sound like you are not taking the situation seriously. It's best for small, everyday mishaps. Let's move on to that powerful phrase that communicates proactivity. I'm on it. This is the phrase of a problem solver, an action taker. When you say, I'm on it, you are not just saying you will do something. You are saying you are taking ownership of the task right now. It's incredibly reassuring to the person making the request Because it lifts the mental burden from their shoulders and places it onto yours. It's a declaration of immediate responsibility. This phrase should be said with confidence and energy. I'm on it. It should sound capable. A quick affirmative nod can add to the effect. There's no room for hesitation in this phrase. A variation with a similar meaning is consider it done. This is also very strong and implies a guaranteed result. For example, let's picture a busy restaurant kitchen. The head chef calls out an order. Table 7 needs their appetizers now. One of the line cooks, without missing a beat, calls back, I'm on it, chef. This quick, confident reply keeps the whole system moving smoothly. There is no question, no delay. A common pitfall is to say, I'm on it, and then not be able to deliver promptly. This phrase sets a high expectation of speed and competence. If you say it, you must be prepared to act immediately. If you need more time or information, it's better to use a different phrase like, I can take care of that, but I'll need about an hour. For your practice, think about your workplace or home. What is a common task that someone asks you to do? The next time it happens, try responding with a clear, confident, I'm on it, and feel how it changes the dynamic of the interaction. Here is another incredibly common and friendly phrase. No problem. This is one of the most versatile phrases in modern informal English. Let's break down its two main uses more deeply. First, as a response to thank you. When used this way, it functions as a casual you're welcome. Culturally, it has become more popular than you're welcome in many situations because it feels more humble. You're welcome can sometimes feel a bit formal, as if you are acknowledging that you did a significant favor. No problem minimizes the favor, suggesting it was so easy for you that it wasn't a problem at all. Second, it's used as a response to a minor apology. Here it's a laid-back way of saying it's okay or don't worry. The key to no problem is its relaxed feel. It should be delivered with an easy smile and a calm tone. Let's consider a scenario. You are in a crowded subway car. Someone accidentally bumps into you and says, "Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that." You can make eye contact, smile slightly, and say, "No problem." This instantly diffuses any potential tension. The interaction is over and everyone feels comfortable. A mistake learners can make is using no problem in a very formal setting where you're welcome would be more appropriate. For example, if your CEO thanks you for a major report you spent weeks on, you're welcome or it was my pleasure would be a better fit than the very casual no problem. When you are in a discussion and someone makes a very good argument, let's look again at that's a good point. This phrase is a sign of intellectual respect. When you say it, you are signaling that you are not just waiting for your turn to speak. You are actively listening and engaging with the other person's ideas. It elevates the conversation from a series of statements to a genuine dialogue. It says, you have introduced an idea that I had not considered and it has merit. This phrase is best delivered with a thoughtful expression. You might pause for a moment, nod slowly, and then say, you know, that's a good point. This shows that their comment has genuinely made you think. Let's imagine a city planning meeting open to the public. The topic is a new proposed highway. One person says, the highway will reduce traffic. Another person stands up and says, but have we considered the impact of the noise pollution on the residents who live nearby? The meeting facilitator might say, that's a good point. Let's talk about potential sound barriers. The facilitator uses the phrase to validate the resident's concern and steer the conversation in a productive direction. A pitfall to avoid is using it dismissively. If you say, "That's a good point," quickly and then immediately change the subject, it will sound insincere, as if you are just trying to get them to stop talking. What happens when you don't have an answer right away? Let's revisit the professional phrase, "Let me get back to you." The power of this phrase lies in the promise it contains. It's a verbal contract to follow up. In today's fast paced world, people often feel pressured to have all the answers immediately. This phrase gives you permission to pause, research, and provide a correct, thoughtful response. This is a sign of a careful and reliable communicator. The tone should be professional and sincere. "I don't have that information right now, but let me get back to you by the end of the day." This is specific and sets a clear expectation. A more casual version could be, "Let me find out and I'll text you." The critical element, which can be a major pitfall, is failure to follow through. If you tell someone you will get back to them, you must do it. It's better to get back to them and say, "I'm still looking into it," than to not get back to them at all. Not following up can make you seem unreliable or forgetful. Let's imagine a scenario. A customer calls a company and asks a very detailed technical question. The support agent, instead of guessing, says, "That is a very specific question, and I want to ensure you get 100% accurate information. Can I take your number and let me get back to you within the hour?" That customer will feel much more valued and confident than if they were given a quick, possibly incorrect answer. For very minor issues, let's re examine the extremely casual phrase, "No biggie." This is a piece of modern slang, and its use signals a very informal, relaxed relationship between the speakers. It's a step more casual than "no problem." The word biggie is a cute diminutive form of big deal, which makes it sound lighthearted and almost playful. You would use this with people you are very comfortable with. It communicates an extremely laid back attitude. For example, you're playing a card game with friends and you make a mistake in the rules. You say, "Oh, wait, I played the wrong card. Sorry." Your friend would likely laugh and say, "No biggie, just take it back." The use of "no biggie" keeps the game fun and low stress. However, the pitfall is using it in the wrong context. Because it is slang and sounds a bit cute, it would be very inappropriate in a professional or formal situation. If you make a mistake at work and your boss points it out, replying "no biggie" would sound highly unprofessional and disrespectful. It's a phrase that is strictly for your personal life with your peers. Let's talk more about decision making and the empowering phrase, "It's your call." This phrase is a powerful tool for delegation and for showing respect for another person's autonomy. When you say, "It's your call," you are handing over the power of choice. This can be a generous act, allowing someone to pick their preference. It can also be an act of trust, empowering a team member to make a decision. Culturally, it aligns with ideals of individuality and personal choice. The tone can vary. Said in a friendly, open way, "I'm happy with either movie, it's your call," is generous. Said in a more serious tone by a manager, "We can either launch this month or next month." There are risks to both. "It's your call." It conveys a significant amount of responsibility and trust. Let's role play. Imagine two parents talking about their child's weekend. Parent 1. He can either go to the birthday party or his soccer game on Saturday. They are at the same time. Parent 2. Well, what do you think he'd prefer? Parent 1. Honestly, I think he'd be happy with either. I'll let him decide. It's his call. In this case, it's about teaching a child to make their own choices. The phrase is incredibly versatile. A mistake to avoid is using it to evade your own responsibility. If you are part of a team and should be making a decision together, always saying it's your call might make you seem unengaged or unwilling to contribute. In any conversation, there will be times when you don't hear something clearly. Let's do a deep dive on the polite request. Sorry, I missed that. This phrase is a masterpiece of polite communication. Let's break down why. The word sorry at the beginning immediately softens the interruption. I missed that is a self-blaming statement. You are not saying you were unclear or you mumbled. You are taking the responsibility for the communication gap. This completely avoids making the other person feel defensive. It's a gentle way of asking for help. Your delivery should be genuinely apologetic and inquisitive. Lean in slightly, perhaps cup your ear and say, I'm so sorry, it's a bit loud in here, I missed that last part. This provides a reason for why you didn't hear, which is even more polite. A great follow-up is to repeat the part you did hear. For example, you said we need to finish the report by, sorry, I missed the day. This helps the speaker know exactly what information they need to repeat. The pitfall is to use this phrase repeatedly with the same person, which might make them think you are not paying attention at all. If you are having consistent trouble hearing, it might be better to say, I'm having a little trouble hearing today. Could we perhaps move to a quieter spot? Now for that wonderfully expressive idiom. You took the words right out of my mouth. This is a phrase that expresses a delightful sense of shared consciousness. It's for those moments when someone articulates your exact thought or feeling so perfectly that it feels like they've reached into your mind. It's an exclamation of complete and total agreement, and it creates a very strong bond between speakers. It's a high-energy phrase. The delivery should be enthusiastic, often with a slight tone of surprise or amazement. You might laugh or shake your head in disbelief. Wow, you took the words right out of my mouth. Let's imagine two colleagues, Maria and Tom, are brainstorming ideas for a new company logo. They've been quiet for a few minutes, thinking. Then Maria says, what if we use the shape of a compass to represent guidance and direction? Tom's eyes light up. He says, that is exactly what I was just thinking. You took the words right out of my mouth. This moment of shared creativity is powerful and exciting. Because this is an idiom, a common mistake for learners is to try to understand it literally, which would be very confusing. It's important to learn it as a complete chunk of language with a specific, figurative meaning. When someone asks you a question that requires some thought, let's look again at the natural pause filler. Let me see. This phrase is conversational lubrication. It smooths over the moments of silence that are necessary for thought. It makes the silence feel productive rather than empty or awkward. It tells your conversation partner, please wait, I am processing your request and formulating a response. It is a signal of active thinking. This phrase is usually said with a thoughtful, slightly drawn-out intonation, often while looking up or away, as if searching for the information in your mind. Let me see. Let's imagine you are helping your friend plan a trip. They ask, what are the must-see places in Paris? That's a big question. You could reply, oh wow, there are so many. Let me see. You absolutely have to see the Louvre, of course, and I would really recommend a walk through the Montmartre district. The "let me see" gives you a moment to sort through your memories and provide a better, more organized answer. A pitfall would be to use this for a question you should know the answer to immediately, like your own name or address. In those cases, a pause filled with "let me see" would seem strange. Expressing personal preferences without offending others is a vital social skill. Let's expand on the gentle phrase, "it's not for me." The brilliance of this phrase is its subjectivity. It makes a statement about your personal taste, not about the objective quality of the thing in question. This distinction is crucial for polite disagreement. You are not saying that thing is bad. You are saying that thing does not suit my personal preferences. This leaves room for the other person to enjoy it without feeling judged. Your tone should be gentle and apologetic, as if you regret not being able to share their enthusiasm. "I really appreciate the offer, but it's not for me." Let's imagine some friends are planning to go to a very loud, crowded music festival. They are all excited. You, however, prefer quiet environments. You could say, "You guys are going to have an amazing time. I hope you take lots of pictures. Big crowds like that are just not for me, so I'll sit this one out." You are wishing them well while politely excusing yourself. The mistake would be to use this phrase to sound superior, like saying with the sneer, "Oh, reality TV? That's not for me." Your tone and intention are everything. It should be used for honest self expression, not for judgment. When you need to explain something in simple terms, let's do a deep dive on. It's basically, this phrase is a signpost for simplification. When listeners hear it, they know you are about to provide a short, clear, and easy to understand summary. It's a tool for making information accessible. It strips away the complex details and gets to the core concept. It's like saying, if you forget everything else, just remember this one main idea. Let's imagine you are explaining the job of a UX designer to your grandmother. You wouldn't use technical jargon. You would say something like, "Well, Grandma, it's basically my job to make sure that websites and apps are easy and enjoyable for people to use." This simple explanation is far more effective than talking about wireframes and user journeys. A pitfall can be oversimplification. If you are explaining a complex topic to an expert and you start with, "it's basically," it could sound condescending, as if you think they don't understand the basics. So, it's all about knowing your audience. It is a tool for making complex things simple for those who need the simplification. Asking for help can sometimes feel awkward. Let's revisit the very polite, "Could you do me a favor?" This phrase is a masterpiece of social intelligence. It is a question before the real question. By asking for permission to ask, you show a high degree of respect for the other person's time and autonomy. It gives them an easy out. They could technically say no to the first question, which makes them feel less trapped and more in control. This psychological effect makes them much more likely to say yes to the actual favor. Your tone should be sincere and slightly hopeful. "Excuse me, could you do me a favor?" Should sound like a genuine, polite request. Let's imagine a detailed scenario. You are at the airport juggling your suitcase, your backpack, and a cup of coffee. You need to tie your shoelace, but you can't. You see a kind-looking person sitting nearby. You approach them and say, "Excuse me, I have a bit of a silly request. Could you do me a favor? Would you mind holding my coffee for just 10 seconds while I tie my shoe?" By framing it this way, you have made it almost impossible for a kind person to refuse. Compare that to just walking up and saying, "Hold my coffee." The difference in politeness is immense. There's a wonderful feeling when a concept finally clicks. Let's expand on, "Oh, I get it now." This is a phrase of breakthrough. It's the verbal signal of a light bulb turning on in your head. For a teacher, parent, or friend who is trying to explain something, hearing this phrase is incredibly rewarding. It means they have succeeded in transferring knowledge. It also signals that the explanation can stop and you can both move on to the next topic. The delivery of this phrase is usually filled with relief and a bit of excitement. Oh, I get it now. The O is often drawn out as the realization dawns. Let's picture a father teaching his daughter how to ride a bike. He's been explaining about balance and pedaling. Father: "Okay, remember, don't look down at your feet. Look straight ahead where you want to go." Daughter: "But I feel like I'm going to fall." Father: "I know, but your bike will follow your eyes. Just try looking at that big tree at the end of the path." The daughter tries it, and for the first time, she wobbles for a few feet without falling. Her eyes widen and she exclaims, "Oh, I get it now. I'm doing it." That moment of understanding is what the phrase captures perfectly. Motivation is key to success. Let's do a deep dive on the encouraging phrase, "Keep up the good work." This is more than just a compliment. It's a statement of ongoing support. A compliment like "good job" refers to a past action. "Keep up the good work" is forward-looking. It says, "I have noticed your consistent effort and positive results, and I am encouraging you to maintain this high standard." It is a phrase used to sustain momentum. As a manager, this is one of the most effective tools for employee motivation. Instead of only giving feedback when something is wrong, a good manager will regularly acknowledge good performance. During a weekly check-in, a manager might say, "Jennifer, I was very impressed with the way you handled that client complaint this week. Your professionalism has been noted by everyone. Keep up the good work." This kind of specific positive feedback is incredibly powerful. The pitfall to avoid is saying it so often or so generically that it loses its meaning. It's most effective when it feels earned and sincere. Everyone makes mistakes. Let's revisit the accountable phrase, "My mistake." This is a phrase of ownership. It is a clear and simple admission of fault. In many cultures, admitting a mistake can be seen as a weakness. But in most English-speaking professional environments, taking responsibility quickly is seen as a sign of strength and integrity. My mistake cuts through excuses and blame and gets straight to the point. It allows the focus to shift immediately from "whose fault is it?" to "how do we fix it?" Your tone should be direct and sincere, not defensive. "You're right, the numbers in this column are incorrect. My mistake. I'll correct it right now." Let's imagine a restaurant scenario. A waiter brings you a chicken dish when you ordered fish. When you point it out, a good waiter would say, "You are absolutely right. Please accept my apologies. My mistake. Let me get that fixed for you immediately." This professional response de-escalates the situation and reassures the customer. Compare that to a waiter who tries to blame the kitchen or make excuses. Admitting the mistake is faster, more honest, and builds more trust, even though it's a negative situation. Humor and teasing are a big part of friendly relationships. Let's look again at "I'm just messing with you." This phrase is a crucial social lubricant. It's the verbal wink that says, What I just said was not true, it was joke. Teasing is a common way to show affection and build rapport in English speaking cultures, but it can be very confusing for learners. This phrase is the key to decoding it. It's the safety net that ensures the joke lands as intended, without causing hurt feelings. Imagine you and a friend cooked dinner together. Your friend asks, "So, how is it? Is it good?" You take a bite, make a terrible face, and say, "This is awful." As your friend's face falls in disappointment, you quickly break into a huge grin and say, "I'm just messing with you. It's delicious." The relief and laughter that follow are what make this kind of interaction fun. A pitfall for learners is to try teasing without using one of these clarifying phrases. If you just say, "This is awful," and don't immediately clarify, you might genuinely hurt your friend's feelings. This phrase is the essential second part of a successful tease. Some situations aren't simple. Let's expand on the useful phrase. It's complicated. This phrase is a polite boundary setter. It's a socially acceptable way to say, "I do not want to talk about this in detail." It works because it offers a reason, complexity, without giving any actual details. This allows the speaker to maintain their privacy about sensitive topics like personal relationships, family issues, or difficult work situations. Your tone when saying "it's complicated" is usually quiet and a little serious. It can be accompanied by a slight shrug or a sigh. This signals that the topic is heavy and you'd rather not delve into it. Let's say you run into an old friend from college. They ask, "Are you still working at that big tech company? I heard you loved it there." If you left the company under difficult circumstances, you could say, "I actually left about 6 months ago." They might ask, "Oh, really? Why?" A perfectly acceptable answer is, "You know, it's complicated." The other person will almost certainly understand this as a signal to change the subject. A mistake to avoid is using it for simple things, which can seem evasive or strange. If someone asks, "Did you bring the file?" and you say, "It's complicated," that would be very odd. It's reserved for genuinely complex or private matters. When you agree with a suggestion, let's look again at the easygoing phrase, "Sounds good to me." This phrase is the embodiment of cheerful cooperation. It signals easy agreement. The addition of "to me" makes it slightly more personal and subjective than just "sounds good." It clarifies that you are speaking from your own perspective. It says, "I am personally happy with this suggestion." It's very common and promotes a friendly, collaborative atmosphere. Let's imagine a group of friends deciding on a movie. One person says, "The new action movie is getting great reviews." Another says, "But the comedy looks really funny too." You, being happy with either option, could say, "They both sound fun. Let's just go with the action movie since it started a few minutes ago." Sounds good to me. This helps the group make a decision and move forward. Your easy agreement helps resolve the indecision. A time not to use this phrase is when you actually have a strong preference. If you really want to see the comedy, it's better to state your opinion rather than agreeing to something you don't want and being unhappy later. To show your enthusiastic willingness to join an activity, let's do a deep dive on "count me in." This phrase is an exclamation of enthusiastic participation. It's active and energetic. When you say "count me in," component placement, you are not just passively agreeing to join, you are actively asking to be included. It adds a burst of positive energy to a group plan. It comes from the literal idea of counting the people who will be participating. Your voice should be upbeat and excited when you say this. Oh, you're all going for ice cream after work? Count me in. Let's imagine a scene in a community center. A volunteer coordinator is announcing a new project. We're going to be planting a community garden next Saturday morning. We need all the help we can get. A woman in the front row raises her hand and says with a big smile, "What a fantastic project! Count me in." Her enthusiasm is contagious and likely encourages others to join as well. It's a phrase that builds community and excitement. It's best used for fun, positive activities. You probably wouldn't say, "Count me in" for a dangerous or unpleasant task. Expressing excitement for a future event makes conversations more lively. Let's expand on the wonderful phrase, "I can't wait." This is a simple phrase, but it is packed with positive emotional energy. It tells someone that you are not just willing for a future event to happen, but you are actively and eagerly anticipating it. It makes the other person feel that the plan you've made is important and that you value the time you will spend with them. You should say this with genuine excitement in your voice. Your eyes might widen and you'll have a big smile. "You're coming to visit for a whole week? I can't wait." Let's imagine a child's birthday is approaching. The child might say to their parents every single day, "Is it my birthday yet? I can't wait for my party." This perfectly captures the feeling of pure, joyful anticipation. A common mistake is to use this phrase for something you are not genuinely excited about. If you say, "I can't wait," in a flat, sarcastic tone for a mandatory work meeting, it will be understood as a joke or a complaint. The sincerity of the emotion is what gives the phrase its power. Encouragement is a gift we can give with our words. Let's revisit the powerful phrase, "You've got this." This is a modern, confident, and incredibly supportive expression. It's a declaration of your faith in someone else's abilities. It's more than just good luck. Good luck implies chance or fortune. "You've got this" implies skill, preparation, and inner strength. It says you have the capability within you to succeed. This phrase should be delivered with a firm, confident tone, often with direct eye contact and a reassuring nod. "I know you're nervous about the speech, but you know the material inside and out. You've got this." Let's picture a coach talking to an athlete before a big race. The athlete is shaking with nerves. The coach puts a steady hand on their shoulder, looks them in the eye, and says, "All the hard work is done. You've trained for this moment. Now go out there and do what you do best. You've got this." That firm belief from the coach can be the final ingredient the athlete needs to perform at their best. When you are saying goodbye, let's look again at the warm phrase, "Take care." This is a beautiful and common way to end a conversation. It transforms a simple goodbye into a small expression of goodwill. It literally means, take care of yourself. It's a wish for the other person's safety and well-being. It is suitable for almost any situation from casual to formal, which makes it incredibly useful. Your tone should be warm and sincere. As you are leaving, you can smile and say, "It was great to see you. Take care." In an email, it is a very common and professional closing. You can write, "Thank you for your help on this matter. Best regards, Jennifer. P.S. Take care." The versatility is its strength. You can say it to a friend you see every day, and you can say it to a colleague you've just met. It is always appropriate and always kind. There are really no pitfalls to this phrase. as long as it is said with a basic level of sincerity. It's a simple way to add a touch of humanity to your daily interactions. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Let's expand on the connecting phrase. I know what you mean. This phrase is a bridge between two people. When you say it, you are telling the other person, your feeling is not strange or unique. I have felt something similar. We share this human experience that this is incredibly validating and can make a person feel much less alone. It is a cornerstone of supportive friendships. This phrase is best said with a nod of understanding and a sincere, empathetic tone. Ugh, this rainy weather is making me feel so gloomy. A good friend might reply, I know what you mean. It's hard to feel motivated when it's so dark outside. This shared feeling creates a small bond. A pitfall to avoid is following it up by immediately turning the conversation to yourself. For example, I know what you mean. One time I felt so sad. While this might be an attempt to relate, it can sometimes hijack the conversation. The most powerful use of the phrase is to simply sit with the other person's feeling for a moment, letting them know they've been heard and understood. Finally, let's do a deep dive on the phrase for expressing total surprise. You're kidding me. This is an exclamation, a burst of emotion in response to something unexpected. It can convey shock, joy, disbelief, or even frustration, depending entirely on your tone of voice. Its literal meaning has been completely lost. It is now a fixed expression for, that is surprising. Let's explore the tones. For happy news, if your friend says, I got the job. Зрение вы говорите с высоким, возбужденным тоном. Ох, боже, вы шутите. Congratulations. For shocking negative news, if your friend says, my landlord is raising the rent by 50%, you would say it with a low, disbelieving tone. You're kidding me. That's illegal, isn't it? For something just plain weird. I saw a squirrel eating a slice of pizza in the park today. Response. You're kidding me. That's hilarious. Because its meaning is so dependent on delivery, a common mistake for learners is to use a flat intonation, which can make the phrase sound confusing or insincere. It's a phrase that demands emotion. At this point, you have now practiced 30 powerful everyday English phrases in great detail. These are expressions that native speakers use all the time. The more you practice using them in context, the easier they will become for you to say naturally and confidently. Remember, practice is not only about repeating words. It's about using them in real conversations, listening for them in English content, and feeling confident when it's your turn to speak. Here's a quick challenge for you. For the next 7 days, pick 5 phrases from this video and use them in your daily life. Every small use helps your brain remember them more deeply and helps you become more fluent over time. Thank you so much for joining me in today's extended lesson. I hope you found this deep dive into 30 common English phrases useful and practical. If you enjoyed this session, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, English in Advance, and click the bell icon so you never miss a video. We upload new lessons every day to help you improve your English in small, manageable steps. I'm Jennifer, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and keep practicing. Bye for now.